Momentai. Today I'm going to be setting up a Octoprint server for my 3D printer, and this is so that I can make one of those cool time lapses of a print without having the movement of the X and Y axes interfere with the camera. In order to do this, I'm going to do this in a few part steps. First, I ordered my Raspberry Pi 3B a few days ago. It came in with a case that I ordered, so I'm going to assemble that really quickly. I'm going to flash the drive, I'm going to set up the networking connection, and then after that I'm going to actually configure the settings so that I can do the time-lapse printing. This will cut between a few scenes and I'll explain more later, but enjoy. For the following steps, I'm going to follow the instructions on the Octoprint website. Under the download page, downloading the OS to run on Raspberry Pi. So that was a 562 megabyte download. Once that's done, you're supposed to unzip it. And once you have the ISO, you're good to go. Additionally, get Etcher so that you can flash it to the actual SD card. The link to Etcher is actually on the Octoprint page. Another 142 megabyte download. Now, out of pure laziness and bad habit, I usually just drag the image to my desktop, just so I can reference it easily. And then once the executable is completely downloaded from Etcher, run it for the installation. Just follow the base configurations for the install. Once that's all ready to go, just grab the image that you placed on the desktop. Select where you want to flash it. Not that one. Insert the drive that you want to actually flash it onto, which is the micro SD card that I use the USB conversion chip for. Make sure that you only check the device that you want it on. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad day. And then you just wait for it to finish. Alright, once that completes flashing and validating, make sure you don't click Format Disk, otherwise you'll have to start all over again. And then remove your micro SD card. So there's some additional steps if you want to set up your Raspberry Pi 3B for a wireless connection, but I'm a pretty big fan of Ethernet, so I'm going to skip those steps. Next, remove the SD card and plug it into the Raspberry Pi. So after you've inserted the SD card into the Raspberry Pi, hook it up to power, booted it. Next is to actually check the network connectivity. So I just went to my router, looked at the DHCP settings and see what IP it pulled. And that is a win. At this point there's not really any other additional setup. What I just explained was slightly different from the instructions given on the website just because I was lazy. Always take security into consideration and change your defaults. And then don't show your internal IP scheme to the entire world. I don't feel like doing this in front of you, so I'm just going to do it and then skip over it. Now that the initial setup's done, I think I'm just going to keep discovering until I figure out how to do the time-lapse printing. Alright, now that I've updated and restarted, I'm going to download and install the plugin for Octolapse. Go into the settings menu, looking for the plugin manager. These are all the installed plugins. I'm going to look for more, and then I'm going to specifically search for Octolapse. Going to install. Once it's all done, I'll have to go through and do the restart once more. It's finished installing, and I'm just going to restart the instance. And now you'll see that Octolapse is an option that you can click. For the printer settings, okay, so I didn't realize that I stopped recording, but I just entered base configurations. I didn't really change anything in the slicer or the profiles. I went with the CR10 beta, and that's just a test. I probably shouldn't be doing these things without confirming it, but it's getting late, I'm tired, so I'm just going to click just the default settings. I went extruder at center as far as recommendation went, and the snapshot's going to occur after every layer change. So I've already started the load and print, and currently I'm just waiting for Octolapse to initialize. So currently I'm 0 for 1. Apparently I didn't put this code that I needed to at the very top of the G code. Unfortunate. I hope I luck out with the next two. Alright, I'm going to try this one more time with filament guide. This time instead of G91, I'm going to go with G90, and instead of after the G28, I'm going to try before the G28. And I'm going to load and print. Cross my fingers. So I'm glad that worked out. I still have some work to do with the camera angles and lighting, but I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.